You're listening to Catching Wildfire, a podcast by the Public Safety Broadband Technology Association. Good morning, and welcome to the podcast today of Catching Wildfire, a production of the Western Fire Chiefs, the Public Safety Spectrum Alliance, and the Public Safety Broadband Trust. Listen, thank you so much for giving so much of your time to care about wildfire and the improvement of our profession. Those of you that are listening today, you care, and we know you care. Today, I'm joined by Michael Coad at Sonim and Chief Zagaris. I'll have each of them introduce themselves in a minute. I am Jeff Johnson. I'm the Chief Emeritus for the Western Fire Chiefs, past Fire Chief of the past Fire Chief, Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, and former president of the Western Fire Chiefs as well. Also, as one of the founding members of FirstNet, and the reason that matters is that Sonim was the first device to come to market with the Band 14 FirstNet chipset in it. And that matters because at the time, our critics were saying that no one would build a device for FirstNet use. And today we have nearly 1,000 devices that are FirstNet ready, but first and only first was Sonim. So it's happy to have you guys here today. Michael, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure. So thank you so much. Name is Michael Coad. I'm the head of the product at Sonim Technologies, and my responsibilities are driving product strategy and innovation. And I was certainly with Sonim during the I think it was around 2017-ish or so when we worked with you on the Band 14. So Sonim itself has been in the ultra rugged solutions space for public safety, military, utilities, industrial workers for about 20 years or so. And I'm excited to share how our devices support mission critical work where failure is not an option.
Good to have you here, Michael. Chief D, a virtual icon on the West Coast and probably nationally. Chief D?
Hey, good day. Kim Zagaris, retired State Fire and Rescue Chief for the Rank Governor's Office of Emergency Services. I currently work for Western Fire Chiefs, Senior Advisor for Wildfire Policy and Technology. And I had the pleasure of working with JJ and many others as we try to get FirstNet through Congress, and thought I was done when that happened, and then found myself on the opt-in part of the state of California, where we drove a pretty hard bargain. I think we were the last to sign on, but and then I thought again the mission would be over, but it still carries on and on. So it's really a pleasure to be here with both of you and to talk about Sonim as well as how it impacts FirstNet and our public safety partners.
Good, thanks, Chief Z. Michael, this title today, Catching Wildfire, it's not just a theme; it's a real issue. And Sonim makes the only that I'm aware of, the only truly engineered from the ground up hardened device for blue and gray collar workers. So would you mind just talking, like, for those people that are unfamiliar with the brand, what is Sonim, and like, why would that matter to someone that's engaged in wildfire?
Yeah, so mentioned earlier, so Sonim has been serving public safety and enterprise, but we're here to talk about the public safety side for 20 plus years. We're a U.S.-based provider, ultra-rugged mobile devices for critical communications. That's been our focus, and really got involved with you back when the initial Band 14 demos and trials were taking place. That was an area that we wanted to focus on. We saw the potential that FirstNet, what became FirstNet, was able to provide to our customers and first responders. And then our mission really, as I like to say, is we keep first responders connected, safe, and productive in the toughest conditions. So a little bit of a beyond just devices. We deliver an ecosystem of accessories, push-to-talk solutions, support services, and Sonoware software that adds device management, provisioning, and control.
So, Mike, you're one of the first devices, the light there that came out was pretty impressive. I remember, you know, you'd be sitting down with Bob back in those days, and he'd tell you how bad that device. He'd put it in a glass of ice water. He'd kick it down the floor. He'd throw it off high rise, or he'd run over it with a vehicle. I was impressed. It had 144 hours of talk time. Uh, you know, it had a lapel mic you put on it, so you didn't have to charge it up. Pretty much similar to having a handheld radio that you could talk on the fireside. That was, besides just the Band 14 capability, that phone and the ones that have preceded are still pretty badass.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, we've come a long way since then. We have a whole number of other devices. So the device you were talking about is the XP7. We've since had the XP8, the XP10, and just recently have launched what we call our XP Pro. It still belongs in the Sonim rugged 5G category. It is mil standard 810H. It's IP68, key X9K. Love friendly. It's cool. It's got dual loudspeakers. We still have the large 5,000 milliamp hour battery. So that's kind of the successor product from the original XP7. But off of that device, we now have an XP Pro Thermal, which is a similar platform as the XP Pro, but we've added a FLIR thermal sensor camera in there, and we're excited. We think that opens up. It's a workforce multiplier, from a wildfire perspective, where every responder can carry a thermal vision camera with 5G connectivity. So we believe you could use the camera to enable the firefighters search and rescue, things of that sort, to see heat signatures through smoke in the dark and through obstacles. So we're excited with that product. We've also come out. You're about to come out with a 5G version of our XP5 Plus, which is a rugged bar feature phone. We offer that with knobs and no knobs. A lot of customers coming from the LMR P25 tend to like the knobs version for that. And then we've recently launched our XP3 Plus 5G, which is our 5G version of the rugged flip phone. And we have a camera and non-camera version of that. Some government officials do not allow the camera version, so we offer that. And then just recently, we've come out with what we call MegaConnect, which is our rugged 5G high power mobile hotspot. So it supports the FirstNet MegaRange HDUE capability, and that provides extended coverage and portability. So we're excited by that latest product announcement.
So, Michael, when you say MegaRange, and a lot of folks listening to this podcast today, they're not as technical as some of us working in the industry. What is high power? Like my cell phone I'm talking on right now is 250 milliwatts, right? So a quarter of a watt. What is MegaRange? If this is the quarter of a watt, everyone's cell phone, what is MegaRange?
So MegaRange. So within the wireless standards, they define the phone that you're using as what's called a power class 3. So it's typically 200 milliwatt, maybe as high as 250 milliwatt. But it's really designed to only use what it needs when talking to the cell site. With MegaConnect and MegaRange, they define what's called a power class 1, and that allows you to get up to 1.25 watts. It's a significant increase, and it really extends the range, depending on terrain and things of that sort, by up to 6 times. So it's a significant improvement. It's one of those things where in wildfire, where you maybe due to terrain or just being in a rural area, you may struggle with cellular connectivity. And Mega Connect really improves the ability to connect in those cases. And since it's a mobile hotspot, it's basically providing Wi-Fi connectivity. So you can have smartphones connected to it. You can have PCs connected to it, other things connected to it. And then, of course, it will then use its high power as needed to connect with the cellular network and then ultimately connected to the internet.
So I think we've all had our phones get hot when we're away from connectivity. A lot of us don't really understand why it does, but you make a good point, which is the phones we use today are dynamic in terms of their power output. They only use as much energy as it takes to reach the tower and get back. So that extends your battery life. And when you have a device like MegaRange that's 6 times as powerful and it's also dynamic, then that helps, right? Like, you can reach much farther with a MegaRange. And I love the aspect that regardless of which phone you have, you can use it with MegaRange, right?
So, from that perspective, you don't have to change your phone or your PC or anything of that sort. You connect to Mega Connect via Wi-Fi like you would, any other mobile hotspot or Wi-Fi access point. And then Mega Connect will take care of the connectivity back to the cellular network.
That's amazing. So overall, Michael, how does Sonim compare? Like, what's your differentiator between some of the devices? Some of us buy Android and Samsung and Apple, but what sets Sonim apart?
Sure. So I'll just start with where we left off. The extended coverage with high power modes like Mega Connect is a recent product offering in an area that we intend to continue to innovate in and drive future products that would support that functionality. But really, I come back to a couple of the key themes that we started even way back when with the XP7 and the Band 14. The extreme ruggedness. So we're waterproof, we're drop proof, we're chemical resistant. The other thing that we focus on is mission critical audio. We have ultra loud loudspeakers, noise and echo cancellation. There are purpose-built usability features such as glove-friendly screens, PTT, SOS buttons. I mentioned earlier on a device we have knobs for radio-like operations. It's being able to change the channel, push the talk channel, things of that sort. Along with that, we don't just focus on the device itself. We have the secure audio connector that's built into these devices, and that supports PTT-centric accessories. It does have a mechanical retention as well, so you can screw these accessories into the side of the phone, and you don't worry about them losing connection when you really don't want them to lose the connection. And then I kind of touched upon the flexible options with the camera, the no camera, the knobs, and no knobs. And then ultimately the life cycle and support. We have multi-year life cycles and with dedicated public safety support. So those are some of the key differentiators. And Sonim has stayed true from the very beginning. And then we continue to innovate with, like I said, with the extended coverage and the Mega Connect.
I know my Sonim XP, right? It's larger than other phones, and maybe a person could be critical of that, but I actually like it, and I like it because it works better in a gloved hand. Number one, number two, you can't truly build a rugged device that's drop proof and waterproof and have a screen that's visible in bright sunlight and is resistant to water droplets. You can't have all that and be some tiny little thing. And the fact is, when you're wearing a mask or you're in the heat of battle, in smoke, you need bulk, you need size, you need the battery life that comes with the XP. It is phenomenal how long that phone lasts on a battery. It's like nothing you've ever had before.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the initial design, we did not want to take any shortcuts on the rugged capabilities and the waterproof and drop proof and things of that sort. but technology has come a long way, and the XP Pro, which is just as rugged as the XP10, is considerably thinner. Now there are certain trade-offs. It's got an embedded battery versus the replaceable battery of the XP10, and we will continue to support the devices that will have the replaceable battery. But we wanted, with the XP Pro and the XP Pro Thermal, we wanted to come out with something that would still have the same rugged pedigree, but be looked at as from a little bit more or less bulky. And there are certain customers that did certainly like the XP10, but really appreciate the new sleeker design of the XP Pro. And but we'll continue to support devices with the removable battery and maybe a little bit thicker, and then the thinner XP Pro Thermal.
That's awesome. Chief Z, as I hand the next question back to you, how could like a wildland firefighter use the FLIR thermal imaging component? Like, how would that be helpful in the street?
I think, as Michael's explained, you take that thermal capability just out on the fire line during mop-up. I just, whether it's mop-up in a land or a structure, just adds so much more capability to the end user. It's just really unbelievable. Where technologies is taking us, and Sonim is just really looking out for what we really need in the field. And I go back to a number of incidents in my career where you wish you could have done a better mop up, because you leave, all of a sudden you get called to come back to mop up, and those are the types of things that can really help, at least in a wildland, but even in a structure to be able to, where people are, or see those hotspots. Just
If nothing else, mop up would be nice to have, right? Just to have that so you can see the hotspots.
You know what? Can you imagine if we'd had this during our time? Huh.
Oh my gosh. Well, first, you and I probably wouldn't have known how to use it. But
yeah. So, Michael, go ahead.
An interesting point about that also is, with the 5G connectivity, it's no longer just a standalone, thermal sensor camera. You can live stream that, or send images and pictures, videos back to a command center, a control center. So, others can view it, and maybe, to your point, you might have people that are much more trained in interpreting thermal imaging, and that don't have to be there on the front line, but can be in the command and control center, looking at the thermal imaging being set back.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal where we're at. So, where can public safety community, purchase Sonim devices?
Right. So in North America, we're sold through all three tier one U.S. carriers. So AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. We also are sold through the Canadian carriers as well. And then both available via enterprise as well as the public safety channels like FirstNet.
Okay. I think right now, sometimes when you come out with new devices or capability, sometimes there's offerings to go with those. You have any of those currently out there?
Yeah, I believe I think all of them. Now I don't know exactly what the subsidies are, things of that sort. So I think with like Mega Connect, for example, that is being promoted and subsidized by AT&T. But I believe all the devices, especially for the public safety segment, are being subsidized by the carriers.
One of the things I just came back from the Vision Conference, just got back last night from it, where, I was again looking over some of your literature there. And one of the things that really just kind of amazed me was that, you have the ability to have up to 64 devices hooked up to that device.
Yeah, and that was something that I mean, this was not intended to be a high-end router type of device on the Mega Connect, but we did feel like in certain use cases you would need to have multiple devices connected, and one of the use cases that we sort of looked at, it'll be interesting to see if that plays out with Mega Connect, is a remote command and control center where you may have a number of team members that need to connect and get out to the internet. And so the ability to have up to 64 different connections, and then obviously aggregated and then connected to the cellular network via Mega Connect with the high power mode, was definitely a use case that drove us to the 64 connection.
Yeah, and it just amazes me when I look at some of the old high-power devices. Yours is about a third of the size than any of those. I mean, you can take it with you, put it in a pack. You don't necessarily have to have it hooked up to the vehicle. I mean, the staff was telling me it's times faster on uploads. Just really amazes me, just the capability. And this, it's about the size, or just maybe just a little bigger than like a hotspot.
Yeah, there was some real heavy engineering that went into that, to make it portable, battery operated, to be as lightweight, as small as it is. But as you can imagine, when you're in high power mode, it's generating some heat. So we did partner with a company that had an innovative thermal design. We did not want to use your standard PC type of fans, but they have a unique technology that does address removing heat from the device without using the more standard type of fan. And then as far as the extended range, as good as the device is, it's made even better. It's even got an enhanced range on top of that with a partnership we've had with Parsec. And they have kind of a kit that the Mega Connect goes into, and it has enhanced antennas. So one of the things with Mega Connect, it does have internal antennas, but it also has support for external antennas. But Parsec takes that to a whole nother level and provides power as well as additional range via some of the antenna configurations that they
that are in the business know is that all of your devices that you do have are actually FirstNet certified through the lab. Explain that a little bit.
Right. So, there's no sense for us to do a device that, FirstNet's not going to be interested in. I mean, that's, one of our major customers that we are targeting with our solutions. So, AT&T and FirstNet have set out a set of criteria, requirements, and test cases that all devices need to support in order to get that kind of FirstNet trusted, FirstNet ready, FirstNet certified type of labeling. And we certainly look to support that, because when somebody gets our device through, say, a FirstNet channel or things of that sort, they need to know it's gone through. It's going to support so it will work in their for their needs. So it's been I think Sonim is certainly collaborated in what are those device requirements that are needed and what are the test cases to prove out FirstNet capability. And so we're happy to support those.
Michael, I'm obviously very familiar with the Sonim product, right? Like I'm a little old school here, but man, this thing is just bulletproof. Sonim devices work internationally, they work domestically. They're an Android phone, but they're just ruggedized. Is that a fair characterization?
Correct. Yeah. In some cases, we may have a unique variant for particular regions. So, for example, on the XP Pro, we do have an XP Pro E being for really EMEA. They have slightly different banding, but also the way the bands combine. So in that case, there's a variant that we sell in Europe, South America, Australia that will. So any of our devices. In fact, I was just overseas, and I brought my XP Pro Thermal, and it worked just fine. And that was Japan and Korea. But in certain cases, we'll optimize the banding capabilities for a region and come out with a variant device. But generally speaking, our devices will work. Even if you had a North American version, it would still work just fine in other countries.
And while the the Mega Connect was a surprise to the industry, really, it's the first of its type, and it is high power, as you say. We don't put high power in the phones.
Right.
Why is that? Like, why do we have high power in a device like Mega Connect, but we don't have high power in the phone?
Well, I think you'll see that. So that's one of our on the horizon types of activities. There are some real challenges. Battery life, for one. Thermal is another challenge. But there's also what's called a specific absorption rate, which is something that the FCC controls and monitors from how much energy that would be radiating from the device next to a human body. And so that's a concern as well. You don't have those scenarios in a mobile hotspot. You can design for thermal. You can design for the battery. You're not typically holding a mobile hotspot up next to yourself. So, that isn't an issue. But we believe there's some opportunities to address the thermal. Our next generation high power capabilities, we think will be more battery friendly. And we think that's got some solutions for how we can address maybe the specific absorption rate on that side. So I think you will see some extended range devices. That's certainly on our horizon. I think that'll be another game changer for rural and disaster coverage.
That's awesome. What else is on the horizon for public safety?
Yeah, so good. In addition to the extended range, so we're also looking for off-cellular communications. So that's oftentimes another scenario we've seen where wildfire due to terrain, maybe you're in a canyon and you've got a team and they don't have a Mega Connect, but they still need to have some sort of communication. So we're looking at device-to-device capabilities, and then as well as supporting some of the satellite initiatives. So we think, the off-cellular satellite may address some of the rural terrain types of scenarios to some degree, but it's not going to really address in building. And that's where maybe some of the other device-to-device capabilities that we're looking at. In addition to off-cellular, we're continuing to look at the advanced imaging. I mentioned the thermal, but we're also looking at maybe adding night vision alongside thermal. And then AI. AI is, you can't be involved in this industry without hearing about that may enhance situational awareness and provide smarter decision making.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Well, we appreciate what Sonim has done for FirstNet and for public safety. You are driving innovation and driving attention to public safety. At the time when FirstNet was created, we couldn't get the other carriers to even think about public safety. They were like, it's too small of a market. And after FirstNet and after Sonim's investment in FirstNet, now public safety is the thing, right? They're all running ads on Super Bowl day, trying to articulate how big of fans they are of public safety and how their networks are engineered for public safety. And you can say whatever you want about other carriers. You can say what you want about devices. There is only one FirstNet, and there is only one Sonim. And Sonim is virtually bulletproof. And you were first. And I think that deserves the respect and trust of public safety. You certainly have my respect and trust, and we just appreciate what you've done. Michael, any final thoughts, Chief Z?
Yeah, I'll leave you with a few final thoughts. So to your point, Sonim is not a consumer type of device. We do devices for mission critical performance and enterprise. So we to your earlier comment, we're not chasing consumer trends. We're looking at what in this case FirstNet it needs in a device, and obviously we've got that rugged history, but we've got a lot of exciting innovation that is coming out and then still on the horizon. So when we're looking at as on the product side, when we're looking at new devices, one of the first things that we ask is, will this keep first responders safe and effective? And our promise is that we'll do devices that never quit, even when everything else does. And we're certainly grateful for the trust that public safety has put in Sonim, and we're committed to continue the innovation.
I think as a company, you've sure shown your support, by being out there as a leader, first and foremost for us, and by your continued reliance and dedication for what you're trying to continue to improve all the time. So off to you and the company, and really appreciate it very much.
Well, Michael, I want to thank you, and Chief Z, thank you for joining us for this podcast today. I'm appreciative of the work done by the Public Safety Spectrum Alliance and the Public Safety Broadband Technology Association. These are the two associations fighting hard for public safety every day and driving innovation. And Chief Z, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the wisdom that you bring to the wildfire environment into the technology environment. It makes a difference for those people that are still out there working in the field. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. We look forward to catching up to you on our next podcast. Thank you very much.